I feel like every single year we make a video about this guy, and every single year I always bring up the same sentiment. We just gotta wait. We just gotta be patient. Because this guy is a unicorn of a hockey player, just a super unique blend of size, skill, scoring ability, instincts, and precision. And I think, after literally 6 years of making videos about this guy, he's finally here, baby. Today we are talking about the monster known as Quinton Byfield, and how everything points to this season potentially being the season where everything that needs to go right will. I wanted to give a big blast to the past here, because the first time we had made a video about Quinton Byfield here on this YouTube channel, it was 6 years ago. Is Quinton Byfield the next best OHL player? Could he go first in 2020? The video was from 6 years ago, and it had 6.6 thousand views. It's like that Attila song, 666 party with the Okay, we're not going to continue with that thought, but Quinton Byfield was a guy who, ever since 2018, 2 seasons before his draft-eligible year, he was super dominant for the York Simcoe Express team in the U16 AAA League in Ontario. I believe he was following the same path as Bobby Orr and Connor McDavid. It was crazy. And heading into the OHL, this is where he started to completely dominate the junior hockey scene. Give it a few years, though, after being drafted 2nd overall by the LA Kings in the 2020 draft, and Quinton Byfield maxes out at a 22-point season in 53 games played in 2022-2023. At this point of his career, he's been developing, he's been slowly getting better, he's been great in the AHL, getting more comfortable at the NHL, but things take a really big turn in this most recent season of play, as QB55 has himself a 55-point campaign in 80 games played for the LA Kings. 20 goals, 35 assists for 55 points, and he actually starts to take full control over what it is he is capable of doing. With Anze Kopitar and Drew Doughty starting to fade away into the sunset, not saying they're washed right now, but Drew Doughty is probably not going to play for a while, and Anze Kopitar is getting up there in age. If there was any time for a guy like QB to start taking over the reins of the LA Kings, last season was a great introduction to that movement. And boy, oh boy, has that looked good heading into this upcoming season. Because when it comes to Quinton Byfield and what he's been showing off so far, he has been maybe as much of a monster as he's ever been, and it's kind of starting to terrify me as a fan of a hockey team also in the Pacific Division in Vancouver. The game that stands out to me was the LA versus Boston game in Quebec City earlier on October 3rd, where Quinton Byfield scored a hat trick, and not only did he get the hat trick, but he scored 2 of the goals within a span of 25 seconds. And these goals were great goals. The first one, beautiful cross-crease feed out in front. Byfield on one knee, left-handed shot on the right wing, one-times it, and it goes right by the goaltender. Beautiful play there. And then, the second goal scored by Byfield just a few seconds later, the puck is played back to the point, and it's driven on goal, and it hits a few things in front of the net, but Quinton Byfield is right there to bat the puck, it looked like out of midair, on goal and into the back of the net. It kind of looked like a golf putt, not gonna lie. Then you give yourselves a few minutes into the third period, and this is where Quinton Byfield gets himself the hat trick. This one, also not really the prettiest goal out there. The puck is trickling in front of the goal, and Quinton Byfield just skates by, he taps it, it goes towards the goaltender, off of the pad and in. It's not pretty, but it's a hat trick. And Quinton Byfield, I feel, is one of these guys that, while he does have the capacity to absolutely dangle the pants off of you, he's got a huge frame, so it's tough to shove him off the puck. He's starting to learn to use his size to his advantage, bridging the gap between his elite mobility and his frame. He's able to get these really nice highlight reel plays on board, but when he's not doing that, when he's just casually going out for a stroll on the ice, he always puts himself in the right spot. And all of a sudden the puck comes to him, he does a move, boom, it's in the back of the net. He is so calm at being able to score these out of nowhere goals that I really do think that heading into 2024-2025, Byfield is one of the talking points. Not to mention the two-way game. Not to mention that he's literally following in the steps of Anze Kopitar, maybe just with a bit more swagger in his game. And if everything continues to go right, like it is right now, Byfield, who is only 22 years old, could very well take over that sort of mold that we thought he had back when he was a draft-eligible player. Kind of like the marriage of Mario Lemieux and Eric Lindros, two guys who were big, who had puck skills, who could use their size to their advantage. Quinton Byfield could be sort of like a light hybrid version of these two guys combined. And heading into the next few years, if QB continues down this trend, I think it will start to illuminate just where we're at with NHL prospects and overall development. Because Byfield always had a really steep learning curve ever since his days in the OHL, eventually into the AHL and the NHL. This is going to be essentially his fourth full season in the National Hockey League. Or not full season, his fourth season presumably playing over 40 games in the National Hockey League. And slowly but surely, the point production has continued to double as the years have gone on. I'm not saying that a 100-point season is in the cards this upcoming year, but for a guy who will probably be given ample opportunity to take over the first-line spot over Anze Kopitar, leading the LA Kings into the next generation, if Quinton Byfield finishes off 2024-2025 with an 85 or even 90-point season, I honestly don't think that would be too outlandish. Optimistic? Sure. But unrealistic? I don't know about that. I'd say maybe a floor for Quinton Byfield in points this upcoming year would be like 70, 75? Maybe 20 points is a really wide range, but I want to believe in the potential here. If QB ends up taking over and becoming this good of a player at 22 years old for the entire year, I think it's really going to fix our perception of what NHL prospects are and how long it takes for them to develop. We made this point over the past few years here, but I think the years of Connor McDavid, Nathan MacKinnon, and Austin Matthews kind of ruined our fans' perceptions of what first overall picks should look like and be like, because these guys exploded onto the NHL right away, and they all had fantastic first years. Connor McDavid was a point-per-game guy, Austin Matthews got 40 goals, Nathan MacKinnon, while he wasn't the Nathan MacKinnon that he is today, was still great. And for a good few years, we had these first overall picks having this amount of success to open up their NHL success. It just didn't carry over when Jack Hughes was drafted first overall, when Alexis Lafreniere and Owen Power were drafted first overall. And the guys around them, whilst they had potential still, did not have immediate success either. I think the only guy who really broke out and was great right off the bat, other than the Tkachuks, was Tim Stützle. Quinton Byfield definitely did not have that same path either. He was just chilling in the OHL, slowly getting better, slowly improving his game. His draft-eligible year saw him put up 82 points in 45 games, but the next year, he ended up playing in the Ontario Reign system, getting 20 points in 32 games there. The transition to becoming a everyday, legit NHL player then took a little bit more time on top of that, with 2 more seasons spent in the AHL developing. Which is why for Quinton Byfield, after having 1 full season of NHL play this prior year, I am leaning a lot more optimistically on this player, considering the talent, considering the unique combination of skill, size, and pizzazz that if you're looking for an underrated fantasy pickup, you're looking for a guy to potentially start taking over the Pacific Division, look no further than Quinton Byfield. Even if you go back to the video we made about him 6 years ago in 2018, I was always kind of saying, hey, he could be like a first overall caliber guy. Alexis Lafreniere is going to be highly touted too, but Quinton Byfield is so unique of a player, almost in the same kind of way that makes Juraj Slafkovsky a unique kind of player, that if QB ends up becoming the best player out of 2020's draft, I don't know if I'd be surprised. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Quinton Byfield, his overall profile, and what you see out of him heading into the next few months. How do you think he's going to fare in 2024-2025 with this LA Kings team? And do you think he has it in him to have, what I'm saying, a potential 90-point season? I don't know, man. I'm just tossing it out there. I do believe it's possible. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. 99 and bye.